Hello everyone. For today's lesson, we will going to tackle the David Berlo's communication model, or otherwise known as SMCR communication model. First, let's all define what is communication model. Communication model serve as a framework to help us understand an angle or a portion or even one of the levels of communication. You see, there is no one model that can fully describe or visualize everything that transpires during a communicative experience. As an abstract representation, a model can only serve as a framework for illustrating more clearly some elements and factors that contribute to the dynamism and complexity of communication. In 1960, David K. Berlo wrote a book entitled El proceso de la comunicación, or the process of communication. This work focused on the purpose of objectives of communication and addressed Berlo's model of communication, which he developed from Claude Shannon and Warren Weaver's mathematical model. In this book, Berlo quoted Aristotle saying that the prime goal of communication was persuasion, an attempt to sway other men to the speaker's point of view. He also describes the factors affecting the individual components in the communication, making the communication more efficient. Berlo's model has mainly four components to describe the communication process. These are sender or the source, the message, channel, and the receiver. Each of the components is affected by many factors. The model also focuses on encoding as well as decoding, which happens before sender sends the message and before receiver receives the message respectively. Now, let's study one by one what is the four components of Berlo's model of communication and their factors.
The first component is source or sender. The source or sender is situated where the message originates. This first component has five factors. First one is communication skills. It is the skill of the individual to communicate. When you say skills, these are the ability to read, write, speak, listen, and so on. Second one is knowledge. Communicating also means that the person needs to be knowledgeable about the subject or topic. For example, when a teacher is knowledgeable enough about the lesson that he or she will be going to teach in the class, the students will understand the lesson properly. Third one is attitudes. This includes attitudes towards the audience, subject, and towards oneself. For instance, your attitudes will reflect to what your audience perceptions about you. The fourth one is social system. The social system includes the various aspects of society like values, beliefs, culture, religion, and a general understanding of society. It is where the communication takes place. For example, classrooms differ from country to country, just like people's behaviors and how they communicate. The last one is culture. Culture of a particular society also comes under the social system. The next component is the message. The message is the package of information or meaning that is sent from sender to receiver. The message can be sent in various forms, such as audio, speech, text, video, or other media. The sender of the messages always wants the receiver to interpret the message in a certain way. This second component also has five factors. The first one is elements. It includes various things like language, gestures, body language, and so on. They constitute all the elements of a particular message. Any content is accompanied by some element. Second one is the structure. The structure of the message refers to how it is arranged, the way people structure the message into various parts. Message is the same, but if the structure is not properly arranged, then the receiver will not understand the message. The third factor is the content, or the body of a message, from the beginning to the end, comprises its content. For example, I want to type a message for my friend. What I typed in that message is already called a content. The fourth one is treatment. It refers to the packaging of the message and the way in which the message is conveyed, or the way in which it is passed on or delivered. When there is too much treatment, communication will not go smoothly. And the last one is code. The code of the message refers to the means through which it is sent and in what form. It could be, for example, language, body language, gestures, music, and so on. Even culture is a code. Only when the code is clear, the message will be clear. The wrong usage may lead to misinterpretation.
The third component of Berlo's model of communication is channel. The channel is the medium used to send the message. The medium must be able to be picked up by the sensory system of the receiver and may therefore involve five senses. These are seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, and tasting. This will be discussed one by one. The first one is sense of seeing. Sense of seeing used in which watching visual presentations. For example, is watching television. So the message is conveyed through the scene or film. The second one is sense of hearing. The use of ears to receive the message. For example, is the orally transmitted messages and interpersonal communication. The third one is the sense of touching. The sense of touch can be used as a channel to communicate. For example, is we touch, we buy food, and hugging our loved ones. The fourth one is the sense of smelling. This used to distinguish different types of odor. Examples of these are perfumes, food, and fragrances. The shared smell communicates something is burning. People can deduct which food is being cooked by its smell. The fifth one is the sense of tasting. The tongue is a muscular organ used in the act of eat and taste food. For example, while a food is being shared, the communication can happen regarding its taste. And the last component is the receiver. The receiver is the one who receives, understands, analyzes, and interprets the message. This is also known as the listener, audience, and or decoder. The receiver has also five factors, and the first one is communication skills. The receiver should possess good communication skills to be able to understand the message delivered by the source. The second one is the knowledge. The receiver must know something about the subject. The third one is the attitudes. The receiver should have the right attitude toward the source, the message, and towards himself or herself to be able to grasp the message in a positive way. The fourth one is the social system. The receiver should be of the same social system as the speaker. And the last one is the culture. The receiver must have the same cultural background with the source.
Now let's summarize our lesson. Berlo's communication model believes that for effective communication to take place, the source and the receiver need to be on the same level. Only then the communication will happen or take place properly. Hence, the source and the receiver should be similar. For instance, If the communication skills of the source is good, then the receiver should have equally good listening skills. This model is an example of linear model of communication. The linear model is one-way or non-interactive communication. For example, we have speech, we have television broadcasts, or even just sending a memo. Therefore, it does not give much credit to feedback. It does not include the barriers of communication. It does not mention the communication interference or the noise. The claim that the source and the receiver must be on the same level when it comes to communication skills, attitudes, knowledge, social system, and culture is quite impossible because there is no two individuals that have the same level of experience. And that's how the David Berlo's communication model or the SMCR model of communication takes place. That's all for today. I hope we all learned something. Thank you for listening and have a great day.